you want to maybe just say who you are and what you do and where you are at the moment?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Tawhid, as you know already my name. I'm currently living in Dhaka, Bangladesh, to be honest. And on my, I think today is seventh day of lockdown. Yeah,
Seventh day of
so
lockdown.
7 day of
Okay.
lockdown.
Okay.
We do not have to be honest, like we don't have like a large number of patients until now. We
Uh-huh.
only have like 54 cases and six deaths,
Uh-huh.
25 recovered cases, and at the moment it looks pretty good. But the lockdown, it was supposed to be until 4th of April, but it got extended to 11th of April for
Uh-huh.
now. But later it might extend again.
Yeah. How have the quarantine measures been kind of implemented in Bangladesh? Is it?
Uh, it's alright. It's alright. They're trying their best. The thing is, like, you have when you have 180 million population, like it's not easy to control somewhere like when you have like more than 50% of the population is in poverty. So most of the people like they can't just go for a lockdown because these people like these guys they live in Antonov. They go out to work every day
Yeah.
to feed their families and themselves. So it's pretty hard. These guys are trying their best.
Yeah.
And the rest of the people that they're actually doing well, like all these big organizations, all the people, like whoever has money or whatever, they're helping each other.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it was kind of chaotic, to be honest, because most of the people like they weren't very much conscious about this situation, so they didn't listen to the government at first. They didn't listen to the people that were warning first, and we didn't really check the airports in the beginning. Check-ins like everybody was. We had like about 10 to 15,000 people coming through the airport every day, and the police and the customs they were checking every day, like the temperature and everything. They used to give them a form, like a small kind of form, where you have to write down if you have any symptoms or anything. You have to put your details and everything.
Yeah.
The problem with the people over here is like the people who are coming mostly from Italy, United States, or UK, and all these places. So they didn't put the right information over there. So that is the first reason actually why it started to spread, because we
Uh-huh.
didn't have a single case, even though we have a very close connection with China, and we had a very good business relation with China, and
Yeah.
we had like a lot of Chinese coming to our country like since October last year, October until this year, February.
Mhm.
Like even the time when the month was like completely affected. So we're having those people over, and then we stopped bringing people from China for a while, but still it didn't get contaminated from Chinese people in the beginning. And then when the people from Italy started to come back, the first two cases were from the Italian returnees, like the Bangladeshi people who used to work in Italy.
Yeah.
So they came back and they got this fever and kind of like a corona symptoms. They got detected by the customs, and then they were taken to the hospital, and they kind of found like I think that initially they didn't have enough testing kits,
Yeah.
so they kept them quarantined, and then they tested them, and they were like positive. Actually, from first three patients, all three of them recovered, so it was still okay. But then all these people who were in Italy, when Italy started to have this crisis, everybody started to fly back here.
Yeah. Okay.
So that
So
was a
more.
chaos. That was a chaos. Then one time, like there were like 142 people came in one flight, and most of the like quite a few cases, about like 3, 4 cases were from there, and then it started. And then these guys, they're initially quarantined by the government, but we didn't have the facilities because it's a third world country, so we don't
Okay.
have really like a very good facilities and everything. So they provide like a small camp next to the airport, and they say like, okay, stay there for 14 days. We're gonna test you guys one by one, and then you guys can go home. And they literally started making chaos, and they didn't want to stay there. For sure, of course, they wanted to get treated better. It's totally fine, but the thing is like some of them had like full symptoms, so they were taken to the hospitals. And these few people, I don't know whether they're very responsible or they want something bad, God knows. But they were taken to the hospitals. Like one of the couple who came from Bahrain, they were taken to the hospital. They got tested positive, and then when they heard that they tested positive, they didn't want to stay in the hospital anymore. They
Okay.
flee from the hospital
Okay. And
because most of the people they're thinking being isolated or being quarantined probably means something very bad.
okay.
I
Yeah.
don't know. It's probably because of the lack of their education, or maybe they're scared because they saw something bad
Okay.
happening to other people outside. So anyway, that's how it all started, and then like all the people over here, they were very conscious, and they started to like posting on social media and everything, and they started to pushing the government, and the government also took proper steps. And like 6 7 days ago, like we went full lockdown. Lockdown means it's like you can only keep a few of the shops open, the necessary shops. The rest has to be closed. All the government facilities, all the workplaces, everything is shut down. And they say like, okay, it's going to be open again on 4th of April. Actually, the schools and all the educational institutions were already closed since March 13th.
Okay. They
They already
consider.
shut it down long
Yeah.
ago
Okay.
because they say like, okay, we don't want these things to spread anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is there
So
sorry, is there any government subsidies, or is the government helping people that are out of work at the moment, or how does it? Is there some?
sorry. Yeah.
Is there something like that in place?
Which one?
That the government helps people that are losing their work for the during the quarantine.
Not really. It didn't happen. To be honest, the people who work for the government, this is not
Oh,
like a
not for
month.
the government. Sorry, I mean like if the government helps anyone that is kind of like a
Yeah,
handout or.
that actually like we don't really know all the information yet, but I know that people who work for the government, all of them are saying because this is actually they didn't announce as a lockdown. They say you have to stay at your home. This is a public holiday.
Okay.
So, so for the government employees, they're getting paid for this period.
Yeah. Okay.
For the workers who works for other sectors, the government asked the owners to pay for their wages and everything. They say they're going to help them. They already the government already issues like about in our currency it's like about 5,000 crore, which is almost like about uh, probably 5 billion uh, Bangladeshi taka, something like that, to pay to the workers, although because you have a lot of RMG companies and all these government workers and those factory workers, so the government has them to pay them for next few months. Also, a lot of companies they don't make it, so the people who can't work now, the military, the government employees, and everybody, they're trying to provide them foods and other stuff for next 6 months.
Yeah.
So the situation is pretty okay now.
Yeah.
But the problem is initially the testing kits. We didn't have enough testing kits. We had only 2,000 testing kits, and you have 180 million people. So it was very fucked up situation. So they were not testing anybody.
Yeah.
So they were saying every day like, yeah, we don't have. They didn't say that we don't have enough testing. They said, yeah, nobody has the symptoms. But then people started to doubt because they thought maybe they're lying, this and that. But actually now we have received about over 45,000 testing kits. And honestly, people really don't have symptoms. Like,
Okay.
because now they have 17 labs open for people to get tested.
Yeah.
And they're also responding to calls and everything. A lot of people got tested, but every day they're testing like about 200 or 300 people, not a lot, because now people in Bangladesh they're also pretty crazy. So these guys, they they actually call up for different cases. Like if you have cold, they
Yeah.
don't just look for the symptoms. They just straight call, yeah, maybe I have corona, so test me and this and that. So that's the reason they're also like they have to go through all the calls. It's a chaos.
Yeah.
So they're also trying their best, but actually the problem is not the COVID-19. The problem is the aftermath of COVID-19.
Yeah.
That's gonna take a huge impact. Like like our country is going to take a huge hit, to be honest, because uh, to be honest, this country depends on the RMG sector,
Yeah,
the garment sector, the manufacturing, like the clothes and all, everything that we
yeah, got
manufacture.
it. Yeah,
So this industry, they always what you call, they always um, uh, what you call, export to the European countries and United States and all these places. Um, we had a lot of orders from them, and then when the COVID-19 started, uh, they started to cancel. Like, it's already in production. Like, half of those products are already being produced. I don't know, like, and
yeah.
then they canceled the order. They they didn't pay and everything, so they canceled about $1.4 billion orders.
Oh,
So just imagine. So this, to be honest, like about 4.1 million families, they're somehow related to the RMG industry,
yeah,
and I'm talking about mostly the workers. So if these orders got cancelled, what actually is going to happen is, the company owners, they will go bankrupt, but they will survive, right? No matter
yeah,
what, because these things, all the companies, like their business and everything, this goes on loans and everything, so it's quite normal for them. But these workers, they're going to lose their job, first of all. Secondly, they'll be to be honest, living without their wages and everything. So it's going to be pretty harsh.
yeah. You think the
And then
economic like fallout for the next years is going to be pretty?
yes, we're gonna face recession and inflation, and to be honest, economic disaster altogether.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So I hope it gets better soon. We don't have a lot of virus problem yet. It is we are afraid for sure, like it might hit, because in every country, like everybody expected that, okay, it's not gonna be anything,
yeah,
and then suddenly it started to kill people.
yeah,
So we, we never know, like what's gonna happen next.
yeah. If
So
the
let's
if the virus wasn't let's say the virus wouldn't exist, or before the virus existed, what was like um, maybe the biggest issue that you were worried about? You know, because
over here.
I find it funny because now obviously we all talk about coronavirus so much, but you know there's obviously other issues as well. So
Yeah,
what's something that bothered
over
you?
here, the issues. I'll give you one small example. Like, uh, I was living in the Netherlands before. I was living in Rotterdam.
Uh huh.
Uh, so over there, like, you have your work, you finish your work, you come back home, you do some, like, you hang out with your friends or some other people for a while, and then you come back home, watch TV and stuff. Like, you do the same thing every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes, like, people like me, we get depressed.
Mm.
So we keep doing the same thing over and over, and you don't have any challenges in your life. Uh, Places like Dhaka
Mm-hmm.
in Bangladesh, every day you have to handle so many hassles that you don't even have the time to get depressed.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, every day, when I go to work, from my house to the work is about uh, 9 kilometers.
Yeah.
It takes me about 1.5 to 2 hours to just go there.
Yeah. Shit.
Imagine. So in Dhaka, in every square kilometer, we have like about 47,600 people living in 1 square kilometer.
Wow.
So hassle is like, and just like this every day, you go outside and you can't even walk on the street
Mm.
without touching a person, even though you don't want to.
Yeah.
But you, like, there'll be somebody who's like bumping on you or something like that, because it's an overpopulated country. So Hassan is like, I mean, if you ask me to say about one issue, I can't really talk about one particular issue, because we
No.
have a lot of issues.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I mean, I don't try
A lot
to.
of issues. But yeah, like, uh, at the moment, we are going through an infrastructural development phase, to be honest, because it's a developing country. So how it's working, uh, you have, I mean, if you look really deep, then there are a lot of problems. Like, you're facing these traffic problems, you're facing this corruption problem, this and that. Like, you're having the worst, like most polluted air in the whole world.
Mm.
Not like harmful, the most harmful, but most polluted. What I'm saying is like dust and this and that, because there are a lot of construction works and everything going on. But all these things are happening because we're going through a phase. It's gonna take about maybe another 5 years to 10 years to get all these things done, and it's gonna be structured again. One of the things that I'm very concerned about in this country is like the people. They're educated. They're educated. A lot of people like in the city, most of the people are educated, and not like super highly educated, but good enough. Like they do their bachelors, they do their masters and stuff, but they do not have like social common sense.
Okay.
So they do not have like social common senses. So they got like what you call, they study the books and everything, but they don't understand the fact that they have to live in a certain way, which might help others as well.
Okay.
Like like collaboration, cooperation, social cooperation, and everything. So those are the things that I face trouble. Like with, to be honest, and also there are like a lot of trust issues that I face. But I also don't blame them because they have been through a lot every day. They actually go through a lot every day. So it's a chain. Like maybe you find one person who's actually not very nice or something. So only his action affects everybody over the chain, so that everybody changes. That like everybody changes themselves just to survive. So it cannot become like that. When you suddenly you see them, or see one person or see 10%, you think everybody is bad, but actually not. Maybe one person is bad, but due to the circumstances, everybody is like acting that way.
Okay. Maybe on a bit of a lighter side. So, what do you do to keep the time that you have to pass now?
To be honest, you'd laugh, man. I am actually staying at my sister's place. I came here like 7 days ago, and then the lockdown started. So I just I'm just here. So the whole day, to be honest, like because I also have I have to work from home. So I work the Dutch time. To be honest, from 8 Amsterdam time until 6 or 7 Amsterdam time. The rest of the time, I play with my nephews. To be honest, nothing else to do. Listen to music and watch television. Man, like I stopped watching television a long time ago, and then now I started back again, man.
Same, man.
Funny thing is, man, like I used to be a chain smoker. I used to smoke like every day, maybe a pack or something. And since COVID started, man, I kind of push it off. Seriously, I stopped smoking, and I'm not even touching a single stick a day. So staying clean, drinking water, a lot of water and everything.
Positive aspects, huh?
It's actually better. Like Dhaka used to be, as I told you, Dhaka used to be the number one like polluted city in the whole world, like polluted air pollution, right? And now that we're in a lockdown, we kind of like, we are now, I think, number 23rd.
Okay, wow.
Number one anymore.
It's so there's always a more positive side to everything.
Also, like I was actually sharing with some of my friends the other day. We have this sea beach, country like this. It's in Cox's Bazar. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
Sorry, what?
Cox's Bazar. Cox's Bazar. Yeah. So that place is always overcrowded. Like it's full of people, tourists, the locals everywhere, and you will find all these plastic packets, like small juice boxes, all this stuff everywhere. And now since the COVID-19, they have a strict, like they have this police force, patrol police, and everybody over there, so nobody can go there. Then we're having all the birds coming back to the sea beach. All the dolphins are coming back to the beachside areas, and this hasn't happened since 1990.
Yeah.
So just imagine this, all the good things are happening, man. Like, to be honest, all the streets are clean now.
Yeah.
Like, it is kind of a blessing if you think, other than the people like dying and everything. Yeah, I totally understand. But what I'm saying is like, it's kind of teaching people how to be human again.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I think
In a way, yeah.
that's quite a nice way to end this, I think. Thank you so much for chatting to me,
No worries, yeah.
and we'll stay in touch. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you
Maybe
very
we'll
much
see
for
each other in
that.
Rotterdam.
Yeah, for
on the
sure,
dance
for
floor.
sure. Are you gonna go to Rotterdam soon?
I love going to Rotterdam all the time. No, I don't go often, but I like Rotterdam as a city quite a lot, so maybe we'll see each other.
I hope that things get better soon, and then I will also move there again. And yeah, I will see you there for sure, man.
Cool. Okay.
Let's keep in touch. Yeah.
See
Take
you,
care.
man. Bye bye.